the time of the year that we all start thinking about holidays and year-end gifts for family and friends. And for many people, it's time to give large cash gifts, particularly to adult children or other relatives. So how much are you allowed to give, and will you owe any tax on that financial gift? Gilmore Jason Mahler CPA Charlie Hyde is here to break it all down for us. Good morning, Charlie. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Amanda, how are you?
Doing well. You know, it's like, of course, we can't think about just giving people money without thinking about taxes. So luckily for most people, hopefully they won't have to worry too much about it. But still, if you give, large gift amounts, it's something that you do need to check in with the IRS about.
You do. So the first thing, most people, the gifts that they're going to give their loved ones are not going to be a reportable gift. Everybody is allowed to give up to $15,000 in 2021 to any individual, and that's family, non-family. But once you go above that $15,000, doesn't mean you're going to have any tax to pay as the donor, but it may mean you have a gift tax reporting to file. So that's why the $15,000, and that's each individual. So a great example would be if my son was buying a house and he needed a down payment of $30,000. My wife and I decided, hey, we'd like to give him that as a gift. I could give him $15,000. My wife could give him $15,000, and we both stayed below our $15,000 annual exclusion to our son, and there would be no reportable gift.
Okay, but if you decided it was all coming from you, then you would. But what about your son? Would he have to worry about, reporting anything if you're the person receiving the gift?
Now, it's a great question, and I hear that a lot. So the person receiving the gift has no requirements. It's not taxable income, and they have no obligation to report that gift. The reporting is all on the donor's side.
Gotcha. So do I have to worry about, if I want to give a gift to my spouse or if I want to give a gift to charity? Is that included in all of this too?
So the good news is gifts between spouses is a unlimited marital exclusion. You don't need to report that. You can move money back and forth between spouses with no issues. I always like to bring up on the charities, because a lot of times people will talk about, I gave a gift to a charity. That is a charitable gift, but that is not what we're talking about as far as having to report a gift to a 501c3 as a part of a gift tax return.
Okay, so that's good news. You don't have to worry so much about that if you want to do a good thing. You don't have to worry about, anything from the government with that. So what about over the course of your life? Say, I give $15,000 here, I give, $5,000 here, 10, does that all does it add up to something?
Yeah, so it can. So if there is a lifetime exemption of 11.7 million for each of us. So, if you're married, you just doubled that. But basically, when you think about that lifetime exemption, that's gift and estate. So when we're talking about this $15,000, I can give up to $15,000, and I don't eat into that lifetime exemption. If I go over my $15,000, I file a gift tax return, and the excess over the 15, I don't have to eat into that, pay tax, but I'm going to eat into that lifetime exemption. So then when I pass and my estate is filing a final estate tax return, if I still have a bulk of that lifetime exemption left that I have not used to offset gift tax, then my estate would have no tax. So it's you use it in your lifetime, or you use it after death.
Most folks are probably not going to have to worry.
Most folks are not going to have a taxable estate with that kind of exemption. What's interesting, and I will, is, obviously there's a lot going on in Washington. They talked about bringing that exemption down. And then just to point out, at one point, that exemption was $1 million. And that caused a lot of people to probably have a taxable estate. they've increased it to what it is now from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the 11.7 million.
Okay, so 11.7, but you never know. That could change.
Never
again.
know.
And I'm sure, Charlie, you'll keep
never
us
know.
updated on top of that. All right, so mom and dad, start thinking now. Writing those checks out for your kids. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us this
You're
morning.
welcome.
Yep, take care.